Come on, son. Don't say about the saying Westbrook was better at the 3-point this season, which I didn't even realize that.
But I don't think so. I think Westbrook was like 32% and Harden was 33.8%. It was something crazy, but they both was terrible. I mean, if we want to be honest, they both. I mean, 32% from 3-point line is not good. So, those numbers, and then again from the field, Westbrook shot. He also missed the most shots in the this season. He took the most shots. He missed the most shots this season. He shot 42% from the field, which is terrible for a guy whose game is mostly going to the rim. Like your game is mostly going to the rim. Most of your shots are at the rim. So, you would think that he would finish with a higher field goal percentage. You would think he would finish with, one of the higher field goal percentages in the paint. No, he didn't for guards. Actually, Steph Curry was the highest percentage of the season at 68% in the paint. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, if you get stuck on numbers, you go, okay, well, he averaged a triple-double. I mean, we want to be technical. I mean, you had players on OKC that were sacrificing their numbers to allow him to average this triple-double. And, again, you can look at the film, you can at all the games. You can see bigs boxing out so that Westbrook could grab a rebound. You see bigs with the ball standing right in front of them, and they moved away to let Westbrook get the rebound, etc. So, I mean, again, it's a great accomplishment. It's a little manufactured, but it's a great accomplishment.
All right. Here's the other thing, though. I don't mean to cut you off, but here's the other thing. The award is not going to be given, I believe, until after the playoffs or after the first round at least. So that means you got Westbrook and you got Harden facing off in the first round of the playoffs. To me, that's going to have a huge factor in it. I know it's necessarily not supposed to, but it's human nature. You're going to watch that series and you're going to say whoever balls out in this series is going to get it because it is close. For me, like I said, I think it's Russ, but I think when you watch these games, to me, that is going to be the deciding factor. If I was a guy voting, I think you got to look at that.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned that in one of the sports groups that I'm in debating and talking about. It sucks because usually the votes are usually put in before the playoffs, but this year they've changed the format and the votes will be put in after the playoffs. Well, I think like after the right before the championship games or whatnot. So with that being said, you can't help as a voter but to really look at, guess what? You have Houston and Oklahoma City playing against each other in the first round. If the series goes 7, if the series goes 6 or 7, I say Westbrook takes it. If the series goes 4 or 5 and Houston wins the series, well, I think Harden wins the MVP.
All right, we'll see. That's it's going to decide on that. So, man, we had a lot of other stuff going on during the week, but we definitely got tied up in this NBA MVP. But it's a great conversation, a great debate. Appreciate you as always for coming on. Make sure you go into the Real NBA Talk group on Facebook. Tyjun Mack is always in there. Also, he's got his own group, The Jump Ball. So go check that out. And always talking NBA, always talking sports. So appreciate you as always.
Catch up on some more stuff. My Warriors about to.
All right. Sound like you kind of cut out a little bit. I heard you say Warriors, so I know you talking good about what the Warriors about to do. But
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh yeah, I said the Warriors gonna sweep the Blazers. So I was calling it right now. And next week, or we won't talk next week. The week after next, we'll talk about how the Warriors are going to destroy the rest of the league and win another ring.
All right, we'll be talking, but I appreciate you, man. Have a good rest of the day.
All right, you too.
All right,
bye.
All right, that was Tyjun Mack, man. We go way back. Everybody that's in the chat room, I appreciate everybody. Also, the guys that's driving and listening right now, appreciate y'all. I know Saturday people be out and about, but appreciate y'all for jumping in. So next up, we're going to be talking with A-Tone. He is a Christian hip-hop artist. I had him on the show 2 weeks ago. Wasn't able to finish the whole interview, had some technical difficulties, but Yeah, I think we're going to get him back on the show, talk about what he's doing, talk about some music and some other things. So let me get into the chat room, see what's going on. Yeah, I think he might have that cheap rocker phone. And he's always out and about, so trying to get him to call in. He's normally never at the house, but appreciate him as always. But this MVP race is going to get interesting, especially with when they're actually going to award it to the player. So to me, that they should have done it at the end of the season before the first game of the playoff starts, because we're going based on regular season. And also to answer Jay Fisher's question, I don't have a call-in line, but I use Skype for everything. It's BS3 Sports. Got another guest coming up on the show in a minute, but I'll let everybody know when you can call in if you want to call in. But once again, it's BS3 Sports on Skype, so you basically be calling in through Skype. Chief Rocket said, Vince, what kind of phone you have? always ragging on Chief Rocket's phone. But we'll, I think it's like I said, this NBA MVP thing is going to be interesting how it all goes down. But some other stuff from this week that we didn't get a chance to touch on. But Kane, if you don't know Kane, the wrestler, WWE wrestler, his real name is Glenn Jacobs. He's actually going to be running for the mayor of Knox County. And that, I thought that was an interesting note, but we got our next guest up on the line. Hey, Tone, how's it going today?
It's a blessed day, man. Blessed day. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, man. Appreciate you for coming back on. I know we had to cut the other interview short, so it was great to get you back on the show. But, man, appreciate you for jumping in on the chat line as well. But how was the past couple of weeks? How's everything going?
Oh, man, just hustling like every day, trying to make a better day than the last day, and progressing your career, and I'm just hustling, man. That's all I can say.
I hear you. Me and everybody, we all pretty much doing the same thing, man. Just trying to make what's best of what we have, and thank God for it. So definitely. All right, so we kind of went through some of the questions, talked about some of your testimony, definitely about your son. And I don't know was there anything else that you did not share on our previous interview as far as your testimony and kind of where God has brought you to?
My son is pretty much a huge part of it. But besides my son, it was just thinking back about the way that I grew up. I was blessed in the fact that my mom kept me focused. My mom kept me focused on a lot of things, and she helped me see the bigger picture, while I had a lot of other people around me that were like, just stay in the streets, do this and that, talking about how you gotta get focus on girls, money, stuff like that. You know how it go. But my mom was like, no, focus on like getting an education, focus on the bigger picture. And I was very, very blessed to have a grandma that was very godly based, so she helped me stay in the Christian mindset things, and then my mom kept me focused on being a hustler. So I was blessed with that. Those two people helped me become the person who I am today, to be honest, because there was a lot of distractions. There's a ton of distractions when you're growing up, so I'm just thankful for them, and I'm doing this also for them, so that we can make a brighter future. And then I think about the kids that I grew up with, so you grow up to be something, right? And I'm nobody yet, but I'm just foreshadowing. Let's say I do grow up to be somebody. I feel like, who am I to not give back? Who am I not to help the future generation get better? Who am I not to, help these kids see something greater and something better? And that's what I want to do. I want to affect the future. I want to affect how these kids are going to grow up, because I feel like, I'm being real honest with it, when God was on here, he was with the thugs, he was with the prostitutes, he was with the gangsters, he was with all of them. He came into the grimiest neighborhoods and tried to save souls. And that's what I gotta do. I gotta go back to where I'm from, right? And help those kids see that there's a better way. Gotta help them see that if they do music, they don't have to rap about getting money, getting cars, getting jewelry, getting girls, getting all that. No, you can rap about positivity, love, joy, peace, God. If that's, you rap about what's real to you, you know? But you don't have to rap about what's all negative. Everything has to be negative. You got enough negative in the media these days, you know. They can't wait for a negative story so they could push it and push it and push it. Let's talk about positivity. That's what I'm about.
Definitely. And to me, that there was a song that Lecrae came out with, and it was called Nothing. And the gist of the song was that music is coming out. People are coming out with music, but they're not talking about anything. They're not talking about anything that can actually uplift you. It's about drugs. It's about sex. It's about women. And it's a select few that do have good music out there, but the majority of it is garbage. Let's just be honest. The majority of it is garbage. And now I think you can choose whatever you want to listen to. I'm not hating on what you choose to, but I think if you can listen to some good music, listen to some good music that's gonna uplift you, not that's gonna make you want to go out and kill somebody. That's gonna make you want to go out and sell drugs, because at the end of the day, you end up being in jail. You end up being another statistic, just like everybody else.
Amen.
Yeah. All right.
Amen.
So, Chief Rocker says, Ben, these guys don't have no energy where you get them from Romper Room. Chief Rocker always talking in the chat room. But the album that you came out with, Reborn, and we talked a little bit about that, but kind of go through the making of the album and how did you get to where you are with the album and when it coming out and everything.
Okay. So honestly, when I first started writing music again, right before Reborn, I wasn't planning on actually coming back out. You know, I wasn't planning on coming out at that time, you know, because I really was just focused on, you know, my son. I was focused on, you know, this job and my wife, you know, so I wasn't gonna come out with music until my son ended up passing. And I, you know, realized that music has always helped me cope with things, you know. Writing music has always helped me with that. So pretty much, honestly, Reborn was my son's EP. It was his mixtape, or whatever you want to call it. It was just dedicated to him. Pretty much everything was dedicated to him and God. I found all my inspiration for every single song through God and him. Every single one. If it's from Alone, when we're talking about getting through the hard times, or On My Mind, where it's just completely about, you know, I'm talking to my conscience about how I'm dealing with things since he passed. I mean, every single song, Just Another Day, that I will say that's probably my most popular song that I had on there. That song is just talking about how you get through every day since he's gone. Like, if you look at every single song that I created, you can see there's always going to be something that brings it back to God or my son at that point. And I literally couldn't write anything else. For the longest time, until recently, I couldn't even write about anything but my son or God. And it's crazy. You know, they fueled me. They fueled me for real. And it sucks that such a tragedy had to happen for me to get it together. And, you know, I talk to God about that every day. I'm like, why did that have to happen for me to catch my juice back? You know, it's like I wouldn't want that to happen. If anything, I would give it all up to have him back. But, you know, obviously, you know, you can't go back. You only can go forward. So with that being the case, I just had to find inspiration. And I know that music has always been my number one love, my number one passion when it comes to things like that. And they were definitely my motivation. So I'm very grateful for the impact that God has had on my life. And to have those 9 months with my son. It was such a blessing.
Yeah, and man, I'm